Hello, my creative and crafty friends. This is Gloria Plunkett with Designs by Gloria, here to share with you how to create these cute little Tootsie Roll treat holder that you can sit on someone's desk, or you can give it away at a shower or whatever. You can add a little sentiment here. I didn't do that, but you can certainly do that with all the many of the Stampin' Up stamps that we sell. Let me show you how to create this. We're going to start off with a piece of Cajun craze or terracotta tile, whatever your preference is. Piece of cardstock cut at 7.5 by 2.5. We're going to score at 1/2 inch, at 3 inches, at 4.5 inches, and then at 7 inches. Now, you can do this on your cutter, but I'm just going to show you how to do this using a ruler. You want to come in from the 1/2 inch score line at the top and 1/2 inch score line at the bottom. And we're going to come in, and we're going to come in at about 1/4 inch. So we're going to cut from here at an angle to here. But I'm just going to pencil it in so you can see how it's done. So I'm going to put my ruler so that my pencil tips right at the edge here. And I'm going to move it up so that it's about at 1/4 inch, because you want it to look like a pot. So I'm going to do a mark there. I'm going to come over on this side. And I'm going to do the same thing. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Just flipped it over. Come in, put my ruler right at the edge here, and bring it in only to about 1/4 inch. So I'll do it here, and I'll do it here. All right, once we get that out of the way, bring in my paper snips. You can do this, like I said, on your cutter, but I'm going to do it here just with my snips to show you how easy it is. I'm going to cut right to this line here, and I'm going to come from the bottom right at the pencil line, and I'm going to snip that off. And I'm going to do the same thing on all 4 sides. So as you can see, I'm cutting this side of the pencil line so you don't have to erase it or anything. So I'm going to speed through this so you don't have to watch the whole thing again. Okay, there you have your little pot. Now we're going to use our bone folder, and we're going to crease on all those lines. For this top here, we're going to fold it down, put a good crease there. And then we're going to adhere these flaps down permanently. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. I love this stuff. It's my favorite. We're just going to make sure that it adheres correctly. Now I'm only putting adhesive right here up to this, so I'm going to start. Let me just show you real quick. So I'm only putting adhesive inside of this little area here. All right. Then we're going to take one of our sponges and some Cajun craze or coordinating ink that you have. I'm going to use Cajun craze here, and I'm going to sponge all the edges or all around. If you have any jagged edges or anything like that, doing the sponging will help remove any extreme visibility of it, so it'll kind of camouflage it. Go all the way around. I'm going to fold these edges, sponge here, flip it over, and sponge here. That's it. We're done with that. Okay. So there you can see the forming of our little pot. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to use some Daffodil Delight cardstock and the large daisy punch. And we're going to punch out 4 daisies. Careful not to pinch yourself. That would hurt. Just gently slide it so you can get it all the way down the paper. Okay? You can set this aside. Now we're going to punch the small daisy punch. And I'm using the Brights collection, the 6x6 Designer Series paper collection, and I'm just going to punch one little daisy from there. And set that aside. I'm also using the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper, and I have a retired 1/2 inch circle punch. So whatever size punch you have, just go. I picked something that matches, but it's a little, you can see it had the daisies back here, so I went ahead and just punch a 1/2 inch circle from there. And then once I did that, I stuck one Stampin' Dimensional on the back of my little 1/2 inch circle. Okay, now that we have that done, we can bring in our little petals. And you can certainly sponge these. I chose not to because I want them to look a little bit more bright. And just gently, I like to hold it at the bottom here because you can easily pull these petals out. So I like to just gently hold it at the bottom and give them a little curl. And I'm going to do that for all 4 of the Daffodil Delight cardstock, but I'm not going to do it for the small daisy on the Brights Collection Designer Series paper that I punched out, just on these. And if you don't want to do the back, see I did the back on mine and then the front. If you don't want to do that, then you only need 2 of the daisies. Okay, almost done here. Here we go. Got those pieces ready. Now I do have some floral tape that I had in my stash. If you don't want to do this, you can use ribbon, whatever works best for you. So I'm going to take this floral tape that I bought from the Dollar Tree, by the way, and that's a lot of floral tape you get for $1. So I'm just going to take it and starting at the bottom down here, just going to hold it and stretch it. And wrap it around the little Tootsie Roll stem here. I don't know what you call this little stick. When you stretch this floral tape, it makes it sticky and it automatically sticks to your little popsicle stick here. Get that off, set that aside. Nice and wrapped. So that's your Tootsie Roll Pop wrapped with floral tape, or like I said, you could wrap some ribbon around it. So now we're going to go ahead and center our Tootsie Roll here. So I'm going to put just a little bit of my Seal Plus 2. I'm going to use a couple of adhesives because I want this to stay nice and shut. I don't want this to come up. So I'm going to put some tear and tape here on this tab. Here. And you notice I didn't just put it all the way across because I want my popsicle stick to stick here in case I want to rip it apart and actually eat the popsicle. They can do that. And you don't have any gooiness on there for them to have to deal with afterwards. So I'm going to just one more piece right there. And my bone folder, I'm just going to give that a little massage there so it can stick down well on my paper. I don't have my take your pick tool, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to remove the backing from the tear and tape. I like to add a little more adhesive just because I'm OCD like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some liquid glue. that I've put into another bottle because I like it better because it's so nice and thin and fine point that I can precisely place where I want the adhesive to go. Okay, so I've got that done. Now I'm going to take my Tootsie Pop and I'm going to add it right here on the center of my pot. I'm going to pull this up and I'm going to make sure those are centered, and then I'm going to hold. Try that one more time. I'm going to hold that before I go any further. Let that really stick on there well. Just squeezing it as I go to make sure it sticks super well. Okay, should be pretty good. Now, take our daisies. See, it's coming up right there. I held it for a little bit longer the last time, just to make sure it really stuck well. I'm going to hold it for a few more seconds and I'll speed up this portion of the video. Okay, now let's add some liquid glue here. You could use mini glue dots, you could use a Seal Plus, but I need wiggle time because I like to off-center them. And that gives me a little bit, as you can see, a chance to move those around and get them right where I want them. If you use seal or anything like that, even glue dots, you're not going to have much time to, once they're down, they're down. So this works good for me, as you can see there. Did it again. Perfect. Okay. Then I'm going to add my little daisy, again with a little dollop here. And center that on my flower. Take off the little dimensional. And center that right over the top. This is the only thing that has any dimension on it, is this little daisy on the front. Then I'm going to take my glue dots. I'm going to add 2 glue dots right on top of each other here. And I'm simply going to line them up and place my flower right on there. Add 2 more glue dots to the back of the other daisy. Nope, I'm sorry, I'm going off camera. Got my glue dots. Now I'm going to line it up with this side and give it a good squeeze. Okay. The last thing I did is using the Bumblebee 1/4 inch ribbon. I went ahead and tied a little bow. And then using another glue dot, I'm going to roll it up a little. Make sure it doesn't stick out of my little bow, and I'm going to stick that right there. And there you have it. How super easy is that? I hope if you create any that you'll share with me on my blog. And until next time, I hope you all have a blessed day. Love y'all. Bye.